Does anybody still sell on eBay? What's up guys, TJ here with another e-commerce video. If you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also hit that bell icon so you can get notifications when I release new content. Today we're going to be talking about eBay and whether or not eBay is still a viable market or e-commerce site to sell on. A little bit of backstory with eBay and myself. I started selling on eBay when I was 17, 18 years old, and I would pretty much sell any and everything that I could sell. I didn't necessarily have like products that I sold. It was just like, old cell phones or used items, things like that. And I made a bunch of money selling those things on eBay because it's so easy to list and sell things. I could sell stuff. I could sell something on eBay right now. I can take these Beats headphones right now and sell them on eBay probably for 200 bucks. And that's how easy it is to enter the eBay world. You don't really have to establish yourself too much to really, make a sale and sell the top dollar. But when we talk about eBay and having an actual product, whether it be a private label item or items that you purchase from different stores or different places and resell on eBay, it's a little bit different because you have competition that is doing the very same thing. And if you're not scaling up as much as they have scaled up, then you're going to kind of be lost in the shuffle. So what eBay has done is they rank sellers. So eBay, they have what's called the top rated seller, and they have different seller ranks that they have that kind of give you an incentive to be a top rated seller and to they have certain guidelines that you have to stay within to become a top rated seller. So a little bit of backstory about my selling on eBay and becoming a top rated seller. I actually started selling these little MP3 players, and like I've told you before, they sold like hotcakes. I was selling a bunch of them, and I started selling my watches also through eBay. So what I did was I had the same listing that I've always had, and I just put it on like a 30-day return. So at the end of 30 days, it will automatically relist it, but I will keep my statistics for that listing, because if you have an item that a lot of people have searched for or looked at or watched, then that's going to rank better than other items, a brand new item. So once I realized that I could become a top rated seller, I quickly just started trying to do everything that I could. Now, becoming a top rated seller does take time because there are just certain metrics that you have to hit, that you have to have time to do. You can't just list the item and next month you become a top rated seller. It takes several months for you to build up to be that. But once you are a top rated seller, eBay is really good about putting your listing above other items, especially newer sellers on eBay or sellers that's not really like doing it for a career. They put you above those items and you get a lot of the traffic for those items. Also, when you are selling, especially if you are a US seller, that's a big plus, especially if you have an item that's being shipped from China and it takes 3 or 4 weeks to get that item out to your customer. If you can sell your item, the same exact item, and get it to the customer in 3 days, of course your item's going to be rated a little bit higher than that item that takes a while to get here. So I'm going to talk perks or pros of eBay. The biggest thing is if you are a new seller, and that's kind of the reason I want to make this video, is because a lot of people come to me talking about fulfillment by Amazon, and that's great, but fulfillment by Amazon, I feel like it's going to be extremely hard for a new person to enter if you haven't sold things online before. Now, if you have sold things online before and you just want to enter into the Amazon market, then that's a different story. But just taking that as your first, e-commerce endeavor, it's going to be a little bit harder to kind of establish yourself, maybe to get revenue and things like that, because of how Amazon is and how aggressive the sellers are on Amazon, and how aggressive Amazon is, and how weird Amazon is with the details of your item that you're selling. Of course, you got to have UPC codes and all those different things that you have to have that Amazon requires. eBay doesn't require those things. You can list whatever you want to, whenever you want to, and you can set it to sell, auction style, or you can just sell it, buy it now, or you can do an auction style with a a set price, whatever price that you want to sell it for, you can set that price. So as long as it reaches that threshold, you can sell the item. So there are different things. There's a lot of pros with selling on eBay. You can also do a lot of arbitrage on eBay because you can ship from other places to your customers, and you don't necessarily have that time restraint that you really have to have with Amazon to compete with Prime sellers. So there's a lot of pros that comes with eBay, especially if you are a new seller. Now, there also are cons. So when you are a brand new seller and you're selling on eBay, eBay is going to put you on kind of a probation period. So you're not going to be able to get your funds, I believe, for 21 days after the person that you sold to receives the item. So you ship an item out, they receive it, 21 days pass, then you get the money for that item, which can pose a problem because another con about eBay is that as soon as you get your payment for that item, it's available to you in your PayPal account. If you have a PayPal debit card, then you can use those funds right then, and it's really good for like drop shipping. Because as soon as somebody pays for something, you can go and take the money that they paid for it and purchase that item and have it shipped to them, and you can just keep whatever the difference is. But if you are a new seller, you are going to have to wait that 21 days until you become established. And it don't take that long to become established. You do just have to make sales and, fulfill those orders in a timely fashion. I guess another con is going to be, you are going to be competing with a lot of established eBay sellers because eBay has been around for so long that there are so many sellers that have established themselves. Also, you have to compete with the like overseas sellers, like China sellers. So you may be drop shipping from Alibaba, or you may be purchasing items from Alibaba, but sellers from Alibaba are going to be selling on eBay, and you're going to have to directly compete with them. And sometimes you can't compete with them because they have, they are able to price the items so low that you're not able to compete with them. So what I've done with that, and this is just a quick tip, what I do is, like, if you have an item, say for instance it's a a bracelet, and the China sellers are selling it for $1.99. Well, you can sell it for $5.99 if you play the market right. You can find a happy medium, because some people will pay the extra $2, $3, or $4 to get the item in 2 or 3 days versus waiting 3 weeks for it. You see what I'm saying? So if you really have to post the item and just kind of change the price, and I'll show you on another video how I go in and look at sellers and see what they've sold. That's another good thing about eBay, is that you can look at whoever's selling. You can click on their username and see what they sold and how much they sold it for. You can see how many has been sold in the last hour or the last 30 days or the last 100 transactions. All that information is available to everybody, and you can go in there and look. And I'll do another video just kind of showing how I price items and how I look at items that are being sold, and also how to do like a quick, okay, bam, 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 this is what I need to do to sell this item. I'll make something like that. But that's it for eBay today. I'm going to come out with several other eBay videos with my tips and tricks and strategies. If you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys.